Hello guys and welcome back to another FPL video. My name is Meerkat and today I've got my Game Week 20 team selection video. Just a really quick one. I've not really had a lot of time again to produce these kind of videos, so just a really quick one. Going over my team for the upcoming game week, and of course let's have a look at how my team did in Game Week 19. And it was a really solid green arrow there with 94 points, an excellent set of returns from the team. I think it's actually my highest score of the season so far. Yeah, just an excellent week. A really big green arrow there to inside the top 30k now. This is one of the highest points I've ever been in my FPL career, this high. So yeah, really happy with that. And yeah, it was all thanks to my differential punts actually paying off. As you can see there, I've added Martinelli, Luis Diaz and Gabriel Jesus to my squad, and they all returned. They all scored a goal. Jesus even added in with an assist. They all got bonus as well. Just a super good set of returns. Really happy with the decisions there to take some differential punts on players who I was pretty confident would start getting minutes. And yeah, they've returned really nicely, and I'm hoping they continue to start for a little bit longer. I don't want to have to transfer them out just yet, but yeah. So going through the team, Sanchez obviously getting benched. I did predict that he would get benched. I just really hoped he wouldn't, that he would hopefully get some minutes. I did predict that Chelsea would have mass rotation. They obviously did, and yeah, Sanchez didn't even play, but he did. Chelsea ended up conceding anyway, so he wouldn't have kept a clean sheet there. But yeah, a bit unfortunate. Maybe could have used a transfer to move him on. But yeah, I'm still all right that I rolled a transfer. We've got Van Dijk there, getting a clean sheet. Happy with him. Was sort of underwhelming, given that Trent managed to finally score a goal when I don't own him from a deflected shot, which, yeah, he got 15 points. So I would have much rather had that in my team rather than Van Dijk 6. But the upcoming game week is hopefully the one where he strikes for me, and I'll go over that in the team selection part of the video. Gabriel losing his clean sheet, again, don't mind. Everyone has an Arsenal defender at this point. So you're losing the clean sheet from Gabriel, don't mind that at all. Robinson getting another assist. I think that's 7 or 8 for this season. Absolutely crazy that he just consistently keeps ticking over. Again, the reason why I started him over Kirkes. Captain Salah, nothing to say about him. Absolutely stupid form this season. What is it, like 14 double-digit returns now this season? No one's even come close. He's even reached the 200-point mark. So, yeah, just absolutely crazy. Palmer getting a blank, which was actually good for my team. More people have captained him than don't own him at this point in terms of the higher ranks. So, yeah, actually, a Palmer blank was really useful for me. I think he had a assist from a disallowed goal. But yeah, Ipswich away, really not that good of a fixture anymore. I don't think we can really target Ipswich if players are playing away, unless it's, of course, Salah. But I don't think Ipswich away is that good of a fixture. And yeah, Chelsea rotated and got very heavily punished. So I expect them to not rotate as much as they did in the future games coming up. Martinelli getting a goal. I did make these 3 differential transfers last week. They all blanked, but all the players I got rid of also blanked. So I wasn't really punished for it at all. But yeah, I just hope the minutes would be a lot better for Martinelli. A lot of people have been talking about Ødegaard. I don't rate Ødegaard as a pick at all. I watched those Arsenal games. Yes, he's a brilliant player, plays some brilliant passes through, but the difference is Arsenal, they very much try to walk the ball in the net. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean that the passing is so excellent between the Arsenal players that they pretty much walk it in the net. And if Ødegaard is that far out, he's not really getting the assists because he's playing the ball through for then someone to knock it across, or it's bouncing about, which. Yeah, I just don't see much potential in him. Yes, he's now got penalties and he'll probably take free kicks as well. But outside of that, don't really see much potential in him. Whereas Martinelli, playing on the right now that Saka's out, 1 year he actually started and he played on the left. So he's that nailed that he can play on the left or the right. If one of them's going to miss out, it's Trossard in terms of the left, or he can play on the right, as we've seen. And yeah, his minutes are solid and he got a return there. So yeah, he's just got that attacking threat, which I hope that would happen with Saka out, and yeah, really happy to hold on to him. Luis Diaz did get benched the previous week. Luckily, he got a full rest, so I actually got points off the bench. But yeah, starts, gets a return. He could have been a lot more than 9 points, to be honest. I was a bit disappointed with it only being one return and a 5-0 win. But obviously, we absolutely take the 9 points. Really, really nice differential to have in the team. Morgan Rogers, started him again, return double-digit haul again. He's been an absolute, king in this FPL season. Absolutely crazy season from Rogers. I'm so happy that a lot of people sold him because I'm pretty much going to keep him for the rest of the season now. He's such an easy bench option when his fixture's tough, and if you play him, you've got a chance of a double-digit haul. He's not a 5 million asset at all. He's a 7 million asset at this point. Really, really excellent value from Rogers, and yeah, obviously going to be keeping him for the foreseeable. Isak getting another goal, one of the most informed players in the league right now, maybe even the world, getting another goal. Really, really nice returns for him. Gabriel Jesus, same thing with Martinelli. Much improved minutes thanks to Saka being out injured. So doubling up on the Arsenal attack. I just think the fixtures for Arsenal look better for attackers than defenders, and it's really paid off this week with 21 points combined from Martinelli and Jesus, being involved in all 3 of the goals as well. I'm hoping that can continue for the future game weeks. And Chris Wood on the bench, which obviously when Chris Wood got his 12-pointer, I was very annoyed that I'd put him on the bench. But to be honest, looking at how the rest of my team has performed, I'm fine with it, because who would I have realistically benched for him? Probably Jesus, who got the same amount of points. Maybe Rogers, pretty much the same amount of points. And those other returns, I don't think I was ever benching them. So I was never going to bench Palmer. So yeah, absolutely brilliant set of returns there. Some noise going on outside. I hope you can't hear that. But yeah, really, really happy with the team this week. 94 points, taking me to the top 30k now. Really, really solid rank now at the halfway point in the season. Can I push into the top 10k? That would be amazing. I've never finished in the top 10k before. I've reached the top 100k, but I've never finished in the top 10k before. So I'd love to do that in a really competitive FPL season. But moving on to how the team is looking in Game Week 12. Game Week 12? Game Week 20. Game Week 12 was quite a while ago. So I have 2.5 million in the bank, 2 free transfers to potentially use. But to be honest, I am very heavily considering just rolling this game week. I think the team looks very solid on paper. Obviously, the captaincy is on Salah. There's no debate about that. I'm not going to be captaining anyone else. And in terms of the rest of the team, the fixtures aren't the best. It's a lot of away fixtures, which obviously we much prefer to have home fixtures. But in terms of the team, I'm actually quite okay with it. I think Sanchez will come back in for Chelsea, and it's an all right fixture against Crystal Palace. Van Dijk playing Man United at home. Man United have conceded the most from set pieces and from headers out of any team in the league. If there is a chance that Van Dijk gets a headed goal, it is this game week. I cannot justify selling Van Dijk before this fixture. Maybe after this fixture, I might look to just simply go to Trent instead of Van Dijk. But for this fixture, this really appeals for Van Dijk. So I'm definitely going to keep him in the team. And I'm just hoping I get that goal from him. A goal, clean sheet, that 15-pointer that Trent just got. I'm really hoping Van Dijk can get it from this game. Gabriel, not going anywhere. One of the best assets in the game right now. Robinson, I'm currently starting Robinson over Kirkes. I think that's a very close call. I think the chance of a clean sheet from both Fulham and Bournemouth is very similar. I think that Everton and Ipswich have about the same attacking threat, and that the difference between Fulham and Bournemouth defensively is also very close. I'm simply starting Robinson because he's got more attacking threat. I think that is the only justification I can really go for. So many assists he's got this season. I think if either of them are going to haul, it's more likely to be Robinson. He's just a bit more consistent. Kirk is a brilliant defensive option on the bench for me. But yeah, I don't think he just doesn't quite get into the starting lineup for me this week. Captaincy on Salah, like I discussed. Vice on Palmer, as it's been most game weeks. Still looks like a great fixture for him against Crystal Palace. And let's not underestimate Palmer. He's not done too well recently. I think he got a 10-pointer, but that's his only return in the last 4 game weeks, I think. But we mustn't underestimate him. He's an absolutely phenomenal player that can absolutely haul at any point. Martinelli against Brighton, it is a short turnaround, but given the difficulty of the fixture away at Brighton, I do think that Arsenal will not rotate very much. I think it will be a very similar lineup. Martinelli could be pushed to the right, and Nwaneri might not start that one, but I'm confident that Martinelli and Jesus can both start. I was sort of helped out a bit by the fact that Havertz was ill, so Jesus had to play as the 9. There wasn't really another option. But if Havertz comes back, there might be a chance that Jesus gets rotated. He did just play a full 90, so maybe that's because he might get rotated at the weekend. But I think with the form he's in, I think it would be silly for Arsenal to rotate him out, given how well he's been playing against a fixture that is certainly not a walkover away at Brighton. So I do think Jesus will start that game. I'm confident that Martinelli will start that game. Luis Diaz, home to Man United. Once again, I'm very confident Luis Diaz will start that game. Jota doesn't seem fit enough to be starting games yet. Home at Man United, Liverpool definitely want to be playing their strongest lineup. And I think at the moment that is Gakpo on the left and Luis Diaz up top. There is a chance it's Gakpo on the left, Jota up top, but given how little minutes Jota has played recently and how important of a fixture this is and how well Luis Diaz and Gakpo have done, I can't see anything other than Luis Diaz up top, Gakpo left, Salah right, Darwin not even in the conversation for starting. So yeah, I think Luis Diaz will hopefully get a start there, and hopefully it is a absolute pasting that everyone is predicting it's going to be. Isak away to Spurs, not the best fixture, but Spurs defensively have been pretty shocking as of recent. So very hopeful again that he can keep up his insane goal scoring form at the moment. Like I mentioned with Martinelli, Jesus, hoping he gets a start here and in exceptionally good form. Chris Wood, painful that I benched him last game week, but I'm hoping he can get the returns again with a nice fixture away to Wolves. And then, yeah, running through the bench, obviously Fabianski injured, but he is my bench keeper, so there's not really much reason for me to move him on unless I think Sanchez gets benched again, but I don't think that's going to happen for a while now. Kirkez, home to Everton. Honestly, I'd like to start him, but I just don't think there's anyone I'd start him over. Faze, out injured, and yeah, just doesn't really seem to be in the squad at all at the moment for Leicester. A bit of a non-option. And then obviously Rodgers suspended to Leicester. It is really interesting because obviously I would have started Rodgers if he was available to Leicester. I have no idea who I would have benched. Probably Jesus. I think is probably the out of the 7 attacks I'm playing is probably the one I would most want to bench. But genuinely, that suspension has helped me out a lot because it's made my dilemma that I've had much simpler to do. And hopefully it keeps his ownership low as well. I think people would have got him in for this fixture, but given he's suspended, I think people will choose to avoid him now. So yeah, hopefully keeps his ownership low, and it's a really, really prime fixture for him. So yeah, there's not really too many not too many moves I'm looking to potentially do in terms of improving the team. I do have 2.5 million in the bank. And Mbumo is certainly someone on my mind. The fixtures aren't amazing coming up. Obviously, this week is really good with Southampton away. I do just think Brentford are really going to start suffering with the fact they've got so many defensive injuries. I just think they're going to have to focus way more on defending and not do much offensively that we've seen this season, or as much, I should say. So I just don't think Mbumo is worth me making a transfer when I think my midfield is so good. I do really like him though, and yeah, he'd probably have my vice captaincy, to be honest, if he was in my team. So I'm just praying that he doesn't go massive. Obviously, there's Haaland, who has got good fixtures, did actually get a return in the last game week, but again, he's so expensive. I'd have to get rid of Isak and probably Diaz and maybe someone else as well. I'd have to get rid of so many players to get in Haaland. It's just not worth it, especially when I'm not even going to captain him as well. And yeah, that's pretty much it in terms of the players I'm looking at. I guess Watkins is sort of in my head, but again, the strikers look so good for me at the moment that I don't really want to move any of them on. And yeah, I'm really liking how the team is looking this game week. And yeah, hoping to continue on the form of getting into the top 10k. That is an actual actual reality for me at this moment in time, which is crazy. It's not really ever been, especially since I've been doing the videos on here. I'm just trying to hold my nerve and not do anything too ridiculous. I've still got a fairly template team, the likes of Captain Salah, Palmer, Isak, Gabriel. I think that's the core in everyone's team right now, but just trying to squeeze out those extra margins with the rest of the team, going for some differentials here and there. That is going to wrap it up for this video, guys. I have updated the mini league leaderboard. I just haven't made the graphics for it, to be honest, so I can't feature it in the video. But again, I will update you all on how the mini league team of the, oh my god, I can't even pronounce it. How my mini league leaderboard is looking. And yeah, it is getting pretty intense in that. So I will obviously share that when I can, when I've made the graphic for that. But if you've enjoyed this video, please give it a like, get subscribed to see how I get on for the rest of this Premier League season. I hope you've had a really good Christmas period and had a great New Year's Day. We are obviously at the halfway point in the season, so yeah, make sure you understand what your goal is for the season, where you're trying to aim for. Make sure you give yourself little targets to try and improve. That's what's helped me out a lot when the season hasn't gone too well for me, is trying to set little targets and trying to achieve those rather than, you know, aiming for the absolute heights that you know you're not going to achieve at this point. So yeah, there's still a lot of time. There's still half the season to play. There's still a lot of rank change that can happen in just a single game week. So I hope you all have a really good game week, and I'll see you in the next FPL video.